So it's no surprise or new news that Respawn announced they're removing tap strafing from Apex Legends, and in doing so, the Apex community kinda just went... I mean, Deltouche roasted No Cocoa Puffs and told him and basically every other PC player to get, well, ape-sexed. I could literally go through this Twitter thread all day just laughing at how funny all this is, but instead we're gonna analyze it in my way. Now, do I think that this was the right decision? Well, to be honest with you, I would have liked tap strafing to stay, but to an extent. For instance, scroll wheel tap strafing is extremely easy to do, and that's what kind of made it common. Removing just that easy part could have made it a lot more scarce, like my dad. In fact, to balance this out even more, keep tap strafing, and why not also add it to console as a mechanic in the movement system instead of it being an exploit. Do you see where I'm getting at here? There's a massive gap in movement when it comes down to PC and console. Maybe Respawn could have catered towards the console movement system and nerfed aim assist. You see? Balancing. Maybe I'm just an idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know. Yeah, yo, can I have my dad back, please? Poor Timmy. Poor Fade. Poor PC players. In fact, right from the start when PC players started discovering movement mechanics, Respawn could have catered towards console as well. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Because right now, PC still has an advantage, whether we like it or not, and whether PC players choose to accept that or not with or without tap strafing. PC is just better, and that's coming from someone who's been on console since the day I came out of my Never mind. But somebody actually managed to raise a very good point using common sense. Check this out. No audio, L-Star is mentally tormenting to play against, bad servers, recon abilities got replaced by Lil Nas X. Oh, but tap strafing gotta go, chief. I would much rather deal with tap strafing being in the game whilst Respawn works on fixing other issues to make Apex more playable and more enjoyable. What's that? You disagree? Listen here, you little sh**. Do you see what I mean when I say that it's a very two-sided story? Up until this point, PC has literally dominated the Apex scene from movement to pro tournaments. You name it, chief. I've played in PC lobbies myself, and it's honestly a 50-50 experience. Sometimes I pop off, and sometimes I get folded harder than Shiv FPS folding hackers. To be honest with you, I was actually thinking of switching to PC because of the movement, but tap strafing was actually a bit of a big role in the PC movement, and now I'm not so sure that I'm going to be making the switch. I guess we'll have to see. But to cover this story up even more, let's take a look at what movement specialist Moki Sniper had to say about this.
Here's the weird part. I'm convinced that tap strafing will not be removed because too many controller players have complained about getting tap strafed on when using crossplay. That almost certainly happened in a minuscule amount of cases. Even though we might think everyone knows about tap strafing, the vast majority of players have likely never heard of or encountered it. I think tap strafing will be removed because clips of and discussions around ridiculous tap strafe moments portray Apex Legends in a way Respawn doesn't think aligns with who they are trying to market the game to. The official reasons of it's inaccessible, lacks readability and counterplay, and is exacerbated by movement abilities seem to me like saying through the flower of game design terms, it makes our game look too complicated and hard to succeed in. Because let's take the official claims apart. It's inaccessible. Correct. Tap strafing fundamentally doesn't work on console. Solution? Give tap strafing to console players. Flicking your analog stick fast enough lets you tap strafe. Solved. It lacks readability and counterplay. The counterplay is investing the hours of learning it yourself. Or better aiming and trigger discipline of not shooting while you're not on target to conserve your ammo and punish the enemy in the correct moment. Also, counterplay. Counterplay? Counterplay is exacerbated by movement abilities. Oh yeah, you mean like air strafing? Or sliding? Wait, do not mistake this as giving you any ideas, stop it right now. Let's quickly talk about why tap strafing works in the first place. In the PC version of Apex there is a mechanic called lurch. Pressing a directional input quicker than half a second after a jump input will push you into that direction. Lurch does not occur when doing the same inputs on an analog stick of a controller, and fundamentally does not exist in the code of Apex on consoles. By inputting the same direction multiple times, quickly enough, you can stack these lurches. This results in tap strafing.
See, great minds think alike, man. I don't see the need for tap strafing to necessarily be removed. If anything, being a console player, that inspired me to get better movement, to be the best of the best. It even inspired me to switch to PC so I can get a taste of what that's actually like. But as always, I'll leave the debating to you guys. Now, of course, homies, please let me know your thoughts and opinions right down in the comment section. How do you guys feel about tap strafing getting removed? Do you think it should have stayed? Do you think it should have been removed? How do you feel about the skill gap? Please, I would love to know. Oh, and please, let's talk about this whole debate going on between PC players and console players. Right now, Xbox players and PS4 players have united against the PC players. But boys, before we completely close off this video, it is everyone's favorite part, bruh, and that is the top 3 comments from the previous video. The comment coming in first place comes from Lukenny, and he says, "So I went blind 3 times, threw up twice, had a seizure, and I lost all my brain cells. Thanks, Novel, I'm traumatized." I mean, I did warn you guys to click off the video. You know what I'm saying? I warned everybody because I knew that guy was a nasty little shit. The comment coming in second place comes from Zero, and he says, "My first and last day of trying to get top 3 because I'm just built different." Surprise, surprise, bruh. The comment coming in first place comes from It's CDP, and he says, "YouTube, congrats, Nick. You won first place for being the most cringe-worthy YouTuber out there. Morgs? Oh, you must have forgotten about me." Yeah, we're not going to talk about Morgs because that man is, well, used to be very, very cringy. Now he's kind of changed. Anyway, boys, that was your top 3 comments from the previous video. Thank you guys yet again so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to absolutely abuse and hip thrust that like button so it gets nice and recommended in the YouTube algorithm. And it's completely free, so go ahead, subscribe with your notifications turned on so you can never miss the buzz and the hype every single time I drop another video. Thank you guys yet again so much for watching, and as always, I will see all of you amazing people in the next video. Much love, everybody, and keep it 100. You freaking nerds.
Stop.